This video is going to be on the easiest way for anyone to get into growing their own medicine. A lot of people don't like having to think about cycles and the planning and the tending aspect of gardening, because it is a lot, especially for lettuce or arugula or things that just are so quick. So this video, we're going to go over the easiest thing that you can do and one of the most rewarding things that you can do to start growing, and that is grow your own culinary herbs. Apologize for the noise, but greenhouse, so fans. Most common question that we get is, what do you do with the spent trays? And the answer is compost. So we just compost it and then put it outside and cover it and let it bake. And then this year, since we have an abundance of it, since we moved locations, it's going on the ground cover. It's going to be the actual top layer of compost that goes on all of the beds here. So this is a perennial herb greenhouse in this time of year, and it becomes a production greenhouse with hemp and tomatoes, all the cash crops, if you will. So by culinary herbs, that's your basils, your oreganos, your sage, your thyme, any of those flavorings that you're going to use on your dishes that chefs know and love. Not just because of the flavor, but because they have such potent medicinal value. They've been used throughout history for their antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial. They don't just kill things so much as they spur your body to activate its detoxification pathways. Each one has its own properties. After we leave the greenhouse, I'm up here looking at the micros today, but after we leave, we're gonna go back home and seed some herbs. I've never done herbs from seed before because they do take a while and they require different procedures than vegetables. I got different soil for them, and we'll go over just seeding them and different procedures. But if you're going to do something, regardless of where you are, herbs are a good way to go. If you have a balcony, if you have a bright window, they're perennial, so you do it once and you tend it correctly, and you get sages that look like this ginormous monster here. This is sun hemp behind me, and then we're playing with bamboo up here too. But we have 600 acres up here, probably 5 are in cultivation, and we've got some tarps down and thinking about what to grow because we do have some serious animal management issues. But this is all spent microgreen stuff, and if you can see here, I'll give you a close-up. We actually transplanted or pulled some of the overgrown bok choy, red pak choy that we use as microgreens, let a couple of the trays go, plucked out single systems, and we're going to see if these grow into full plants. A little bit of an experiment with microgreen seed to see if it matures the same way, but this is all going to be lush, edible undergrowth. This is more of a permaculture style greenhouse. It's gonna be revamped with exhaust systems this year, just so it's not unbearable here in the summer, because it gets 90 and like 90% humidity most days. So in a greenhouse, it's pretty miserable, but we'll give you shots of what happens here, and this is gonna be this is the perfect temperature for microgreens once it gets closed. So we're gonna probably swap to a lot of greenhouse production for the spring. We have some high tunnels with perennials, so that's your garlic and everything that you can seed once and then just let go. As you can probably tell, it's a permaculturist's dream just to have all this raw material. There's just logs and lumber and containers everywhere behind me. And the problem is just time. There's just so many things going on. Anyone who's delving into permaculture will just let you know that it requires a lot of earthworks, requires a lot of large moving parts, and you do have to wait for seasonal changes, obviously. But once you get something going and the land properly set up for success, it'll kind of run itself as long as you have water and things like garlics and onions and wild medicinals, perennial herbs, things like that. Don't require a ton of care other than, they need adequate sunlight. So there's gonna be a lot going on up here. We have a few more hands on the farm this year, and we'll go back and we'll see you at seeding. We're back at the house. I apologize for the noise, but there's one construction project going on over there and another one over there. It's a gorgeous day. The sun came out and it's probably 65, high 60s. We always have a warm snap at the end of February, a false spring, and everything starts blooming, and then depending on how hard it freezes, beginning of March, some of the orchards lose their crop, but I'm loving it. So quickly, this is the beauty of herbs. So if you can see these guys here, you can just put them in containers. So we got sage and lavender, got a rosemary and some thyme in the ground there. So yeah, you just sprinkle it all around the garden because each herb acts as a specific type of insect repellent. They give off phytochemicals, which is what smell is, and some insects and pests really don't like those phytochemicals. So if you just sprinkle the hardier herbs around the garden and just don't monocrop, so that's what I do for basil, mint, all those. Rosemaries, they just go at the end of beds and anywhere, basically. Just I don't enjoy monocropping. Some things are better monocrop just to be able to manage them. Basil's one of those, but if you grow a couple different types of basil, sprinkle the other ones elsewhere. We're gonna go inside and seed because the noise is gonna start again any minute. For herbs, you guys know I usually do cocoa base, Coco Loco potting soil for most things because of the water retention, but beauty of working at a farm and garden store part-time is I get ripped bags. So this is Faffords. I'm sure you guys have heard of Faffords or seen it. It's a peat-based, very mild, extremely well-draining, low fertilizer, which is what herbs need. So herbs specifically are kind of like peppers and tomatoes, the nightshades. They just grow extremely slowly, and think Mediterranean climates. So sandy, silty, extremely well-draining. They like to be moist and then not wet feet, which is why most people don't grow them from seed because they're a pain in the butt. So I might find that they're a pain in the butt, but we're gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna fill some blocks and then we'll go inside and seed. All right, we're back inside. I got my hydration. I don't know if anyone else likes this, but it's pretty close to root beer. Like, as far as kombucha goes, from GT's, this is definitely their best one, and according to the store shelves, everyone else agrees too. So, herbs are picky because they're so small, and usually when you're doing depth, it's double the seed diameter depth. So peas are this big, so you plant them an inch down, things like that. So these are all extremely tiny. Got some parsley, got oregano, rosemary, and thyme. A couple from Southern Seed Savers Exchange. I was gonna say Southern Exposure. One from local company here, it's So True Seed. It's parsley. I've never had great luck with parsley, and I have germinated these, pre-soaked them on a towel. So we'll see if that helps at all. But I'm gonna do parsley just because I go through so much parsley, and then just a couple of the other ones because they're woodier and you don't need as many of them. You don't harvest as much. Usually I only take a sprig of rosemary or of oregano or thyme. Parsley I tend to use an entire bunch, so I want as many as possible. And if you still hear construction in the background, sorry, the walls are pretty thin. So I'm just going to poke holes about the correct depth and we'll go for it. For parsley it is 1/4 inch deep. So I'm just going to poke a little hole on each of them and we'll speed this up so you guys don't go crazy. The other ones don't actually say the depth, but it's generally 2 to 4 times the depth of the seed, and these are all extremely tiny seeds. So I'm going to go, parsley is probably the biggest seed, and that's even pretty small, so I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch down with the other ones, and we'll go from there. I've shown you guys this before, but this is a Johnny's seeder, and for small seeds the thing is invaluable. It has these extremely small divots on it. You probably can't see that, but you can put as many seeds as you want in, and only the there's a little slot there. So small seeds, best tool ever. I don't need to show you guys this because you know what I'm doing. We will do a final wrap, and then I'll give you updates. If you want to see this experiment, it'll probably be another couple weeks before I do an overview of everything, because everything else is actually going crazy. Coaching programs are being built and garden season's right around the corner. Podcasts coming up, 2 different podcasts. So if I forget to do a video, do follow me on Instagram. That's where I tend to do most of my posting. I just got a Twitter and a Getter and all of those. So always in my link tree, but the daily updates include more progress shots than the videos, just because the videos take a little longer. We'll blow through this, I'll give you an overview, and we'll see you next time.